This is the new 2025 Chevrolet Blazer EV SS, and it's the first all-electric Chevy that actually wants to rip your face off. And because this is America, they've decided to call it SS, which historically meant super sport. But today, well, that means a heavy crossover that goes from 0 to 60 faster than a Porsche 911. So today, I'm going to test it and see if I can keep my face on. So visually, this is not the car you want to take to school if you want to blend in to the car park. I mean, look at it. It's got bulges, it's got creases, it's got this black trim, it's got vents that don't vent, and then it has this huge light bar that runs all the way across the front. And to make it stand out from its lesser brethren, it's got an SS badge here. So at the back, the comfort package includes a powered lift gate. And this has actually got more space than the gas-powered Blazer, 26 cubic feet here, and if you put these seats flat, get around 60 cubic feet. And under here, you get a little bit more space. There's a 110 volt here, but there's quite a decent amount of space right here. And then up front, so under the hood, there is no frunk, no engine, no pistons, no exhaust, no rumble, no drama. Instead, this one gets a bigger battery, which is 102 kilowatts. That's good for 303 miles of range, which is pretty good. And you can actually charge up to 190 kilowatts max. So this SS version borrows the front motor from the front-wheel drive car and the rear motor from the rear-wheel drive car. So you get 220 at the front, 365 at the rear. Add those up with a slightly broken calculator and you get 515 horsepower, 450 foot-pounds of torque. But there's more in this than meets the eye. This one has what's called WOW mode, which is wide open watts. Push that button and for the duration of while you're driving, which is great, you get 615 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque. That's good for a 0 to 60 run in 3.3 seconds. So all SS's get these 275/40 Continental Sport summer tires on these 22-inch rims. At the front you get 6-piston calipers and the rotors are 15.3 inches at the front, 13.8 at the back. Chevy has also upgraded the suspension so you get 60% stiffer anti-roll bars and 30% stiffer springs. So how does it stack up against the competition? Well, I think this one looks the coolest out of the Tesla and the Ford. The Ford looks like it's having an identity crisis, and the Tesla looks like a jelly bean. Yes, the Kia and the Hyundai may have more power, but this has more power than both the Tesla and the Ford. So how much is it? Well, base price is $60,600, which is actually pretty reasonable. This red paint will cost you $495, and then there's one option on this car, which is the Performance Pack, which I think anybody should get. It's only $395, and that includes these summer tires and high friction rotors and high friction brake pads. So that's a pretty good deal. Total price out the door is $64,875. So shield your eyes because it's very, very red in here. But don't panic because there's another color you can choose which is a bit more subtle. Anyway, seats aren't bad. They do sort of cut into here where the anchors for the child seats are, but other than that, they're not bad. Tons of legroom and okay headroom here, despite the sloping svelte shape. 2 vents, 2 USBs, and these seats are heated outboard. And then you also get a couple of cup holders. Not quite sure why they gave you a little spot to store something on that side and nothing on that side, but they did it anyway. And then you get this huge sort of panoramic sunroof which opens and tilts, etc. So in the front, seats are very similar, a little bit hard, and I don't think they have enough real bolstering. They could be a little softer and have more bolstering. I think I'd be happier with those. Maybe they should have a package which gives you some sport seats with this kind of car, considering it is quite quick. Obviously the red theme continues at the front. Look at that. It almost matches my phone as well. And of course, screens dominate everything in the front, but material quality is actually pretty good. The wheel feels pretty nice in your hands. Overall quality of plastics is actually pretty solid. So if you like a lot of dials and a lot of information, then these screens provide a whole lot of info for you. So if you're familiar with the RS version of this, the interior is pretty much the same, and screens, as you can see, are a top priority. This is a 17.7-inch touch-sensitive display. The only downside is you don't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but I think most people can live with it. The built-in system, which is a Google system, does require you to log into all the apps that you would normally use in order to operate phone mirroring. There are some shortcuts over on the left-hand side. You can go here and do one-pedal driving. I have it set to high. I like it on high. And you can turn it on and off. That stays with the screen all the time. Annoyingly, though, to go to drive modes, you've got to hit drive modes, and then you can play around with your brake feel, steering, motor sound. I have it on N. I put it on S, and it was sort of annoying. Competitive mode, that loosens off the traction control. I don't think anyone's going to take this on a track, but just in case you did. And of course, you've still got your one pedal mode there, so there's two different buttons as well. If the passenger wanted to press it, they could, to mess with you. And this button right here looks like a couple of lightning bolts. Hit that. You get that angry noise. Now you've gone from 515 horsepower to 615 horsepower, so 100 plus more horsepower available. That's when you get your 3.3 seconds to 60. It would be nice if there was a sticky button here for that mode. Come on, GM. That would be easy to do, right? Below that, you've got your climate controls. It's a mix of both screen buttons and also buttons down here. Not quite sure why you've got that. Duplicated fan speed, really weird. You can operate also, this has cooled seats and heated seats on both sides. You can also change your temperature here with this button or here on the screen. Again, I don't know why there's that duplication. Physical volume button, good news. So the good thing about electric cars is you get a lot more space. So all the way down here, there's a rubberized mat. And here's my phone. If you open up this, you get a couple of USBs and quite a decent amount of space. Here is the wireless charger and another nice size cubby under the armrest. Ahead of the driver, there is a configurable display. So pressing this button on the steering wheel allows you to change it to quite a minimalistic view, which I kind of like that too. Or you can have this one, which is where I was before. Or you can have this one, not keen on that one. Or you can have your maps and a tiny little display in the left-hand side. Or you can go back to that one, which shows your lane departure assist systems in the middle. And then back to the minimalistic one. And then that's the one that I was kind of liking the best. All right, I'm going to set off in normal mode, just because I'm on a little non-paved trail. But it is a good test of how smooth the suspension is. Obviously, this car's probably not meant to be taken on this kind of road, but it's decently smooth. There's some washboard. On the way out here, I found the suspension to be actually really good, despite the fact that we know that the spring rates are stiffer by about 30%. So it still rides decently comfortable. Unlike the Volvo EX30 that I drove, which was as fast as this thing, that one did not ride very well over here. It did not like washboard, but this one is actually super smooth. Now we are in normal mode. That means it's a softer suspension setting. So let's put it into Z mode. Ready for it? Okay. Right, now we have full power. 615 horsepower. 650 foot-pounds of torque. Oh! Well, it's certainly fast. But you know, anyone can make a car go fast in a straight line. What is it like handling-wise? Well, it certainly goes. Acceleration is like getting kicked in the back by a grizzly bear that's had too much caffeine. Stomp on it and it absolutely flies, even from higher speeds. You can definitely feel that the suspension is harder in this mode. Slow down a little bit here. So, all right, we're doing maybe, let's get down to 20 miles an hour. Let's see how long it takes to get. Okay, off we go. Oh. So it makes kind of a juddering noise. I'm not sure if that is meant to be happening, or it's the traction control. I don't know. Okay. It's fast. I think it definitely earns the SS badge. And I kind of like the steering too. Kind of lifeless in its feel, but it's pretty direct, quite sharp. So for me, the biggest miss in this car have got to be the seats. I mean, they're comfortable, but there's not enough bolstering. There's not enough support for a car that can create these kind of G-forces. I mean, it's pretty good in the turns. Right. Let's see if we do a full bore. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it gets off the line so quickly. I can believe this is 3.3 seconds to 60. Oh, so according to the timer, I just did a 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. Holy crap. I mean, that was a fairly flat piece of road. Wow. Okay, let's take this corner. God, it handles in these turns really well. In the turns, it's magnificent. In a straight line, it's magnificent, and it has a really good battery. These Ultium batteries that GM put in, they're really good. Great regen. So GM, fix the seats, and you got a winner. So what do we think? Well, the 2025 Chevy Blazer SSEV, it's fast, but it's practical, it's family friendly, and it goes around corners like a frightened cat. It's a family crossover that's trying to be a muscle car, and I actually really like it. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time with another video.